Hello everyone, my name is Tina, I'm head of design of VectoriaDesigns, and we just created a brand new pack, the Ephemera File Folder Project Pack. In this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to create the journal, how to assemble the file folder boxes, and I'm going to show you an example of a gift card with an envelope. If you would like to see the exact content of this pack, I made another video for that, just click on the link in the description. And if you would like to discover the pack in our shop, there's a link for that too. And now let me show you how to make everything, starting with the journal. First, let's make this mini journal. And for the cover, you need to cut 2 pieces of cardboard. This cardboard is 1 millimeter thick. That's about 1/16 of an inch, so quite sturdy. But you can also use cardboard from cereal boxes and just glue 2 pieces together to make one sturdy piece. 2 pieces for the front and the cover, 5.5 inches high and 4 inches and 1/8 wide. Twice that size, and one is 5.5 inches high and 1 inch wide for the spine. And to cover these pieces, I'm going to use 2 of the full page papers that are in the kit, and this one I'm going to use for the outside, this for the inside. You don't need everything, and the cut-offs you can reuse later. For the outside you need 2 pieces of 6.5 inch by 4 3/8 of an inch, and I'm going to use this piece and this piece probably, that would fit. And for the inside, those can be a bit smaller. Those are 5.25 inch by 3 7/8 of an inch, also twice. So let's trim these. This. So here I got my covers and my insides. Now I'm going to put the outside cover papers to this cover piece. And I don't need to fill it completely with the paper because a portion of it will be covered in another way. As a matter of fact, I'm going to stay 1/4 of an inch from the edge. That is a bit more than 1/2 centimeter. Just for myself, I'm going to put a little bit of reference here, like, yeah, I can go up to there. And what I'm going to do is put some double-sided tape all around here. Make a good bond. Remove the backing, and I'm going to put some glue inside this tape. I'm gonna put it here, and I'm going to put the cover paper on top. I'm not going to measure, but I'm going to see if I'm putting this in the middle, in the center, right up here. There, that's one. So 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the cardboard and about in the center. It really doesn't matter that much. Now I'm going to cut off the corners, and I'm going to leave a 1/16 of an inch gap here to cover the corners. Don't make it too much either, because then it's going to wrinkle. There, then already fold these tabs over so you can really squeeze them into place later. And then you can use glue, but I'm going to use double-sided tape again on these tabs. And I always like in the gap in between to put a little bit of glue. Now, this is a lot of glue. Little bit will suffice. Just spread it out if you have my problem. And then really pull the paper when you close these tabs. Like this. Really pull it so you don't have any air gaps here. It always helps to rub the sides with a bone folder or something else that's sturdy enough. And repeat with the other sides, like this. And the excess glue that pours out, if you're not careful, like I, just lift it up with a piece of paper. No harm done. Last one. And now I'm going to mark the center of this cover. The cover, of course, is 5.5 inch, so the center is 2 3/4 of an inch. I'm just going to make a mark with my pencil. It's going to be covered, so don't worry about it. Then I'm going to take a piece of ribbon. This is about 11 inch long. That's just for safekeeping. And I'm going to glue this in here. And make sure the nice side of the ribbon will face out. So, what is with my glue today? Oh, I'm using way too much. No problem, just lift it off. I'm having a bad glue day. You don't need to put glue all the way to the edge, because then you will be risking that some glue will pour out. It'll stick, don't worry. Like this. If that's dry, that's not going anywhere. And now I'm going to place one of my inside cover pieces. I'm going to take this one, and to make it stand out a bit more, this is totally optional, I'm going to ink the edges. But totally optional. This just makes the inside of the cover stand out more, if you like that. Now I'm going to glue this in there again with double-sided tape around the edge and glue in the center. And make sure you have about 1/8 of an inch all around on the 3 sides before you put down the inside. Like that. There. And now we have a front cover like this, and I'm going to do exactly the same to make the back cover. My 2 cover pieces are done, and now it is time to attach this little spine in the middle. And for that I'm going to use strong white tape. This is a very easy way to make books and albums and journals. It's very strong, it holds everything together, and you can bend it. So perfect. Preferably it's 2 inches wide, but at least 1 3/4 of an inch. And you need a piece of, just going to cut 12 inches. And then let's see if your tape behaves and doesn't glue you to your work surface. You're the boss, not the tape. Take your 1 inch wide spine piece and put it about in the center. And glue it down. And then I'm going to place the cover pieces next to it, but I'm going to leave a 1/8 inch gap, or a bit less, about 2 millimeters. And now make sure that you position your covers the right way and not upside down, because then all your work has been for nothing. This is my front cover. Here, make sure it matches up perfectly. And the back cover. Same. And then fold over the tape carefully. Carefully lead tape to glue it down like this. I'm going to cut this piece nice and straight. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to try to really match these lines up so you don't see the gap. Like this, yeah. It's not totally perfect, but it's good. And then go with your bone folder inside these gaps. And then you have a very loosey moving cover. And that is, in the end, when you use this book, a lot handier. And now, if you like, you can embellish the outside of this cover. And I included a lot of pages of embellishments for inside the journal, outside the journal, for other types of crafts. You see, there is a lot, and you can use these to put on the spine if you like, these ones too. And I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to cut this out and put it on the front. I love simple. But if you like a lot of embellishments, go nuts! There's more than enough of materials. A bit of ink on the edges, just a light color to make it stand out a bit more. There, I couldn't resist adding a few more embellishments. For now, this cover is done and I'm going to put it on the side for now. And the next thing is to prepare the hinge. And this hinge is going to hold all the file folders and the papers inside of this journal. It is a blank template, but you can print it on colored paper. This is 160 grams too. And I used craft paper. And this template will guide you where to put the holes in your signatures. Now first, let's cut these out. Let's start with this one. Optional step, you can ink the edges also, and I'm just going to do that just to show you how it will be, but this is totally optional. And the next step is to score all these lines. There's quite a few. You can use a ruler and a mat and a scoring tool, or I'm going to use my scoreboard. It's always 3/8 of an inch or 2/8 of an inch, so it goes quite quickly. You don't have to move this piece of paper. There, all done. And now, how to fold these. If you put those 2 dots on the bottom, the first fold is a valley fold. So it goes inside like this. The second one is a valley fold also. Valley fold, it means it goes this way, and the mountain fold, it goes that way. It's that simple. There. And then we have a mountain fold. Go the other way. See, I'm going to make a little mountain. And then again, 2 valley folds. 1. And a mountain fold. Again, 2 valley folds. And a mountain fold. 2 valley folds, and you're ready. So essentially 2 valley, mountain, 2 valley, mountain, 2 valley, mountain, 2 valley, and that's it. These 3 mountains are going to be hinges. Now, this is a very special kind of hinge. Normally, people all make these kind of hinges, but if I would do that, there would be no place to put a lot of these hinges in one small booklet like I'm making right now. So I'm combining hinges with sewing. I'm gonna turn this around, take my double-sided tape, and my tape is 3/8 of an inch wide, so it fits perfectly on one of these mountain folds of these hinges. Of course, if you have smaller tape, just put 2 next to each other or overlap them a bit. Put some double-sided tape on half of these 3/8 of an inch mountain pieces. Like this. Remove the backing, and I'm gluing this piece to the other piece like this. Doing the same with the 2 other ones. This. And the last one. Like this. And now I have 3 hinges where I can glue papers or file folders to. Fold them to each side so they get really bendy and flexible. Make sure you put the hinge this way so you have the 2 dots on your left. No problem if you want it like this, but then your journal is going to look a little bit different, but no problem at all. I'm just going to do it like this. And I'm going to put a piece of double-sided tape already on front of these 3 hinges. Not going to remove the backing yet, it's just a preparation for later. So that's done. And I'm also already going to put double-sided tape on the back of these 2 side tabs. Also, don't remove the backing yet. And then the last step, you see there are 9 super small holes here, printed already. Just poke those holes. Just use a needle. There. This little hinge will hold the whole book or journal inside the cover. So this is a very important piece. Now, what am I going to put inside this journal? Well, the main component is these file folders. So I have 2 file folders on each page. One with a tab on the front, in the middle and on the back, so you can really find your tabs quickly. I also printed one of the neutral back pages on the back, so it won't be white. Now if you say hold it, that's going to cost me a lot of ink. Well, I also included ink saver versions of these file folders that you can print on colored paper. Printed on craft paper, they will look like this. The back is already colored, so you don't need to print that too. This is also no ink. There's only ink on these sides, on the edges, and that's it. The inside is just purely craft paper. So this is an option if you don't want to use up too much ink. Just buy colored paper. I'm going to use these to show you, and I'm going to cut all these out. So I cut all of these out, and now I'm going to score the middle line. And fold in half. And now I have 6 file folders, 2 fronts, 2 middle tabs and 2 last tabs. Optional in the kit is also a file folder pocket. This pocket fits into one of these file folders and a card to put in there too. And I'm going to show you how this works. Let me cut this out. And when you cut this pocket out, just score this middle line and those 2 on the sides. Take care, score the dark line. I put a bit of the design over the edge of the tab, so when you fold it you won't see any of the white. That's why I did that. I'm gonna score this center line, and then here, not here, here, like this. There. Fold those scored lines. I was wrong, fold this one inwards, like this. If you like a little notch here and there, take a small circle punch. This is 5/8 of an inch. You can use 1/2 inch circle punch or an inch if you like. This, same one here. You can ink the edges again if you like. And to put these pockets into this file folder, put double-sided tape or glue on these 4 tabs on the front. First glue in one side, not 2. Flip in 2 of the tabs. Make sure this center line is in the center line of the file folder. When you're sure, put these down. So that's pocket number 1. To glue the second pocket, don't glue it when it's opened, because then you can hardly shut it again. So glue it when it's kind of closed, like this. There. And now you have 2 pockets inside your file folders. There are 2 designs of these pockets and they fit in all the file folders. Of course, the card that's on there, you can put in there as well. And this way you can fill all these file folders as you like. I have my 6 file folders here and I want them into my journal this way. So tab on top, tab in the middle, tab on the bottom, again one on top, in the middle and on the bottom. And now I'm going to divide them. First, second, third, fourth, fifth and 6th. So in these folders you can glue extra pockets, and in these you can put extra papers because we're going to sew them. And you can put in any papers that you like. These are some ledger papers that are in the kit. And I have some other papers in color too. You can put in there anything you like in any size that you like too. But I made them approximately the size of these file folders. And there's also something else that is in this kit, and that are a lot of small journal pages. Double pages that fit into these file folders. I cut some out already. See how beautiful they are. And these are also in the kit in a large size, in a full page size also. So if you want to make a larger journal, they're there. So I'm going to put a few of these also in these 3 file folders, and I'm going to mix them up with a few of these papers. Just take what you like. So all the papers that you have, fold them in half and put them in one of these folders. It is totally okay if they peekaboo a bit out of there, but if you don't like that, just trim them perfectly to size or a bit smaller. I want this one too. One of these, and I want these in there. And the last one, I'm going to put this one. This is a beautiful one too. Yeah, I'm going to use these. So make sure that the folding lines of these inside papers match, are perfectly in place with the fold of the file folder. If you want to be sure, keep them in place with some binder clips. Hairpins work great too. And use this piece of paper with the 3 lines to poke the holes. And they will match the holes in this hinge piece. This piece matches the height of the file folder. So put the file folder page upwards and then just poke 3 holes. There, and do that with all 3 signatures. So to recap, file folder 2, 4 and 6 have extra papers and the holes in the center. And file folder number 1, 3 and 5, you can put pockets in there or glue some corners in there. And now it's time to attach these 6 file folders to this hinge that holds everything in place. First, make sure you have them in place. So this is 1, 2 with the extra papers, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm going to start with these 3, the ones with the holes and the extra pages. It's easiest because they have to be sewn in, but it's really easy and really fast. Use some thread, about 12-inch. If you use embroidery thread like I do, most of the time there are 6 threads, just pull them apart so you have only 3 threads. Like this. So I'm going to start with this one. This is the first one that needs to be sewn. So if I hold my hinge here, so with the 2 dots on the left side, the first row of 3 holes is for this signature. It's a really easy 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You go in from the center outside through the center hole you just punched like this, and then you go, make sure you have the right row, through the center hole 2 of the hinge. There. Keep your thumb on the tail so it doesn't slip. Then from the outside in, you go to either one of the side holes through the hole of the hinge, and then it's a bit of guesswork to find the hole. Then when you're back in, go again through the center hole to the outside. Make sure to keep your tail in place. Then go to the other hole on the outside and search for the holes in the signature. Go back in, and then to close, put this tail underneath the other part like this, and then make a double knot. Don't pull it too hard, but make sure it's not loose. The thread is not loose. this, 1 knot, 2 knots, and cut off the excess thread. Then I'm going to use the 4th signature, and that will go into the 2nd row of holes on the hinge. Again, open your signature and go through the middle hole. Open the 2nd row of holes and again through the middle hole. Outside, keep your thumb on the tail as much as possible. Then go to either one of the outside holes and go back in. And it's always a bit of a search to find the other holes, like this. Go back in, back out through the center hole again. And then when you're out, go to the other hole, find those little holes from the other signature, come back in, underneath here, underneath here, sorry about that, and make a double knot and cut the excess thread. And then with the 6th signature, it goes in the last row of holes, just exactly the same. And when these 3 signatures, the 2nd, the 4th and the 6th, are sewn in perfectly, it's time to add these 3 other ones. And that's very easy. Just remove the backing from the first and just glue it on top like this. See? Then find the next one like this. Remove the backing, glue it in place, and then find the last one, remove the backing and glue it in place. There. And then you have the center of your journal or your book. And with this technique of hinges and sewing combined, you can have a lot of pages and items in a small place actually. Now, how to get the inside of this book into the cover that we just made. Now what I like to do first is to cut a piece of light cardboard and attach it to this side first. That makes this piece a lot sturdier. And with light cardboard I mean cereal box cardboard. That's perfect. Cut a piece that is 5 inches and a quarter by 1 inch and 1/8. So this is the piece, that's the back side, but we're going to hide it anyway. And now roll something round like a pencil inside this piece of cardboard, like this, to bend it a little. It'll become clear in a minute why I am doing this. Just a little, so it becomes a bit more curved. And then turn around your inside of the book to show the hinge and make sure the width of this piece of cardboard is the same width as from this first fold to the last fold. If it's not, because with all the hinges it can vary a bit, if it is not, just trim it a bit. And in my case, I'm just going to trim it like just like a hair. Just going to cut like a hair off, like this. When this is bent a little, this can form the base of this hinge. And I suggest to ink the top and the bottom of this piece of cardboard a bit darker, because you might see these sides a very little bit and it would be a bit of a shame if they were just grey. So the rest, you won't see that part. And then you're going to put double-sided tape all over this cardboard back. It's not that wide, so try to fill it completely. Like this. Remove the backing. And then glue it from this fold to this fold, the first until the last fold, completely. So start here Glue, 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 glue. Yep, until the last fold. And now the back of this hinge is a bit fortified. You will see that will hold everything a lot better. Now, what about these two dots? Well, now it is time to punch them out. These are 1/8 of an inch in diameter, and I'm going to use these to put eyelets and then thread an elastic cord through there. You can use an awl or a 1/8 of an inch hole punch, but I'm going to use my brand new crocodile because it sets eyelets as well as punches holes. So there, 2 holes punched through the cardboard and everything. And now I'm going to attach the eyelets. I have some 1/8 of an inch eyelets here, and you can use a simple eyelet setter, but I'm of course going to use this crocodile to do that. There, 2 eyelets in place. I have here a piece of elastic that is a bit larger than twice this height. Gonna thread it through the eyelet holes. And I'm going to find a light tension, not a hard tension, but a light tension, and make a double knot. Yeah, perfect. If you're sure, trim the tails. With the elastic attached, remove the backings of the 2 pieces of double-sided tape that we attached earlier. And now it's time to put this whole thing into the cover. And this is optional, but I like to put a bit of glue next to the tape also to really keep it in place. So next to this cardboard piece, there. First I'm going to glue the front, and I'm going to glue it next to the spine in the center, like this. Make sure it bonds well. Going to add a bit of glue in here as well. If you remember correctly, this piece of cardboard is 1/8 of an inch wider than this spine. So that makes the inner spine a bit curved. Now to close this, make sure this is bent a bit, and then close the journal while you glue this part like this. And then you can open it again and really press this piece down very well. Let this dry very well. If you see, you have a curved inner spine, and then you can just tie up these ribbons, make a bow to close your journal. But of course it's not complete yet. I'm now going to show you how to quickly make the little notebook that goes under this piece of elastic. So here's how to make the little booklet that goes underneath the elastic. This is the pages that you will get. So one with a very old cover and another page. I also made a back with the center pages that are a bit larger. So if you cut the front out, you won't have a white edge. I printed these on 80 grams paper, and the one with the cover I printed on 160 grams paper to make it a bit more sturdy. And first I'm going to cut these out. So I cut these out. This is the cover, and I have the lines on the back and a lot of inner pages. Of course you can use any pages that you like. Don't put too much of these inside. You don't need that. Just a little booklet will suffice. Okay, fold the cover in half too. Place the pages inside, and voila. You have a little booklet to go inside your journal as well. Of course, in the beginning, if you turn the hinge completely upside down, you will have this one in the back if you would like that better. And here you go, a very beautiful stuffed journal. Pockets, room for cards, pages, tabs where you can write what's in there, beautiful places to journal. And of course the story doesn't end here, because there are a lot of embellishments in this kit too, like cards with numbers, word circles, tickets, cards with flowers, lots of flowers. A library card with a pocket. Look at these, some more cards, images. You can all use these to embellish your journal. Some pockets as well. And these pockets, for example, you can cut out and put here or on the back to put a card in there. Some larger papers that you can use for inside the journal as well. Some corner pockets, some labels, and some more embellishments. And this way you can really personalize this journal just as you like. You can fill it to the brim. With all the items that are in this kit, you can easily make a bunch of gift cards as well. I made one here, and as the base I used one of the file folders, and on top I just glued some of the embellishments, and inside I added one of the pockets, and inside it holds a little ticket that you can write something on the back, and a little card as well that you can write on. And this is just a little bit that I added to this card. You can add a lot more. And the gift card can easily stand up like this. And of course, a gift card can always use an envelope. And in this kit are also two envelopes. Here's one of them, and they both hold one of these cards perfectly. And let me quickly show you what it looks like. I printed this on 160 grams paper, and I printed one of the backs on the back, but that's totally optional, as you know. First, I'm going to cut this out. I cut out the envelope and I'm going to ink the edges a bit just to hide eventual imperfection. This is also totally optional. The envelope is a bit harder to cut with all the small details, but if you ink the edges a bit, you can hide so many imperfections. It's perfect. And then it's just a matter of scoring these lines from this corner to this corner, to this corner, to this corner, and back to that corner. I haven't put any folding lines on this envelope because I like to avoid that if possible. And the corners are clear, so it's actually pretty easy. So then turn around and fold every side inward. Like this. Then fold the bottom flap and then the top flap. To close this envelope, put glue on these tabs where these two overlap. So don't put glue on the sides that are shown, like here. Same on the other side, here. And then close your envelope. And it's ready to be used. This is what it looks like on the front. This on the back, you can put a card in there, nice and snugly, and close the envelope. And then to close, put a bit of glue on this half circle and close it, or put a piece of double-sided tape here. There's your gift card. And the envelope you can of course also embellish with the many embellishments in this kit. And if you use large journal papers in this kit, this envelope fits perfectly in there. And of course, when you have beautiful file folders to hold stickers or little scrap papers, you need a box to put them in. And in this kit are 3 boxes. They're all the same width, so they can hold the file folders, but the depth is different. So this one is 2 inches deep. If you don't have a lot of file folders, that's perfect. I also have one that's 3 inches deep if you like to make that one, and one that is 4¼ inch deep, and I'm going to show you what you can use that for later. But first let me show you how to make the 2-inch deep file folder box right now. There are 2 pages for this box. This is the actual box. It has a simple aged paper pattern, and I put a paper pattern back also. If you say, I don't want to print that much, I totally understand. So for all the boxes and the embellishments, I've made templates that you can print on any type of paper that you already have in your house, patterned or not patterned, colored or not colored. They're just white pages with the black outlines, and you have the perfect shapes to make this box. I've printed these on 160 grams paper again, but you can also use like 300 grams paper if you want a really sturdy box. That's totally up to you, but I really wouldn't use less than 160 grams. Now, first of all, I'm going to cut these out. I cut all the parts out. These are the parts of the actual box, and these are the panels to embellish the box and a little label. So I'm going to put these aside for a bit and start with the box. And what I'm going to do now is score these 4 lines. And then flip over the box, fold all the lines, and then fold everything over. There. After folding, I'm going to attach double-sided tape to all of these 6 tabs against the folding line. Now these tabs are quite wide, so if you think they're too wide, cut off a bit. I'm just going to leave it as they are, and I'm going to put some double-sided tape against the fold that I just made. Yes, of course you can use glue stick just as well. In my experience, double-sided tape just holds longer and better in the end. I'm going to remove the backing of the middle parts, the middle tabs. I'm going to attach these side bits. Now, make sure that the long side of these side parts goes next to the long side of the box. So don't do this because you will have a very weird box. That wouldn't work. This one goes here, right next to the folds. This one goes here, also next to the fold. And then it's just a matter of removing all the backings and gluing them in place. This is going to go here. I always like to go in there a bit, the bottom ones as well. Now these tabs don't really match up as I see now, but I'm just going to cut them, and the files that you guys are going to get will be perfect. This is just a prototype. Like this. And now you can attach the panels. And these panels are made so that there's 1/8 of an inch on each side. And there's one for every side. So simply use some double-sided tape or some glue. And then just place it right in the middle so that there's a 1/8 of an inch border on all sides. You can ink these edges extra if you like. You can ink everything, guys, everything. The box has all the panels and I put a label on the front. And now it is ready to hold a bunch of file folders and they fit perfectly in here. And these come in 3 different sizes. This is 2 inches deep. We also have 3 and 4 1/4. I have made a 4 1/4 box, and also you can put all your file folders in here as well. But in this box you can also put them up like this. And this box also holds 4 of the type of journals that I showed you how to make. I really hope you liked the tutorials of this pack. If you would like to purchase it, just click on the link below, and I wish you a very beautiful day. Bye!